Are you dealing with flashbacks with memories of your abuse and they seem haunting? Like whenever you have one, you just like space out. You can't focus. You can't even do anything. Your body has this weird reaction to it and it just seems so haunting and daunting and hopeless and scary. If so, watch this video because I'm going to teach you how to actually handle them and how to deal with those flashbacks and memories in such a way that you can just be with them and be with them in a space of love, light, and gratitude and be able to have them and still move on with your day, still do the things that you know you want to do. So if this is you, watch the rest of this video and at the very end, I share one gigantic tip and one gigantic thing and technique that will help you overcome those for the rest of your life if you just apply it. And I'm sharing this because this is what has worked for me. This is what has worked in my life. There was a time when I used to have flashbacks, when I used to get triggered. And also this video might be triggering for some. So stay with me until the end and breathe and remember to breathe and to remember to be here. And I remember that when I used to have flashbacks, when I used to have memories, I used to actually have like a full body cringe. Like I noticed my body, I wouldn't be able to deal with the flashback. I'd want to space out. I'd want to go and do something. I couldn't focus on what I was doing. And it's like my body was having this reaction to it. And now I can handle them in such a way that it's just like, awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for reminding me of my purpose. Thank you for reminding me of my mission. I welcome you in with loving arms. Thank you so much. I let you go. So we're going to cover all of that and more in this video. And I'm going to teach you, give you the techniques and tools that you need to begin your journey as well. So where do we begin? First of all, I want to say that flashbacks and memories, they're normal. They are normal for you to be experiencing them. And everyone and many and majority of those who have been sexually abused experience flashbacks and memories. I still do. And I am in the work of healing and have been healing for the past like 4 years. And so you're not alone. Just know that you're alone because oftentimes you can build this mindset that we are alone. But the truth is that you are not. You're not alone and that other people in this world are going through the exact same thing that you are. The second thing that I want to give is a little bit of insight into why the flashbacks and why memories occur in the first place. So from everything that I've learned, every book that I've researched on trauma and sexual abuse, from work with my therapists, from work with my coaches, from work with my mentors, I have began and come to understand that the reason and why we have a memory is because there is an emotional connection behind it. Meaning that there is an emotional connection to that memory, to that thing that has happened, good or bad, hence why we have good memories, hence why we have bad memories. And that when we have that memory, it's because there is something to deal with. There's an emotion that hasn't been expressed. There's an emotion that hasn't been dealt with. There is something that we need to look at in order to let it go. And this is true because in my own life, like I used to cringe and now I don't, because I've been willing to face off with the emotions, the sensations, the things, the thoughts, everything about the flashbacks in order to be with them, in order to release that emotional connection. And I begin to have them less often and they're less intense, way less intense. And I can handle every aspect of them. And so the reason why we have them is because there's an emotional connection. And so the more that we can deal with that emotion that's there, the more that we can deal with the flashback, the more that we can heal with it, the more that we can actually heal them and they become less and less and less and less and less. So like, for example, think about a really great memory. The only reason you have the really good memory is because there's an emotional connection where you felt really good. And think about a bad memory, aside from sexual abuse. The only reason you have that is because you didn't feel so good. And so this goes for not only sexual abuse, flashbacks, and memories, but also any sort of negative thing that comes into your space, memory, thought, thing. It's because there's an emotion that hasn't been expressed or hasn't been dealt with. And so here are some ways in which that you can actually deal with and cope with your flashbacks and your memories. And these are things that have worked for me. So technique number 1 is to breathe through them. Seriously, when I used to have flashbacks, I used to stop breathing. And a way that instantly opened up space and allowed them to actually come in was to breathe into them. A lot of the times what we resist persist, and we want to resist those flashbacks and memories like nobody's business. For a long time I did that. I cringe. I do everything to avoid actually going there or facing off or looking at them. And the more that we can look at them, the more that you can look at them, the more that you can heal them. So know that what you resist persists. And if you can get into the space and use technique number 1, which is to breathe, open back up and breathe into them. Catch yourself in it and breathe into the memory. Breathe into the flashback. Breathe into that space. And use technique number 2, which is anchor into the now. Repeat the sentence that I am here in this park, I'm here in this car, I'm here in my house, I'm here with my feet on the ground. Feel something, whatever you got to do, feel the air, feel your breath, anchor back into the now. Know that you are here, know that you are now, know that you're breathing through and you're not necessarily in that memory. The memory is separate. It's kind of like you're in a movie theater and it's playing on the screen. Because a lot of the times, we often think that it just takes over and we go into the picture, we go in there and we're reliving that experience. And so the more that we can anchor into now and the more that we can breathe through them, the more that we can let them go and feel them fully. The third technique is to notice the sensations that they bring up. This one is huge. This is huge. And I swear that if you can get in this space where you can breathe through the cringiness, you can breathe through the sensations in the stomach, the chest, the tight, whatever happens in your body, just breathe into them and let them go. Breathe into the memory and allow the memory to be here. Don't resist it. Just breathe into it. Notice that you're okay, that there's a part of you that will always be wonderful, perfect, whole, and complete, and breathe and let go of that. When you do that, when you notice the sensations in your body, when you breathe into them and let them flow through you instead of blocking them and suppressing them by not letting them go and by resisting, they become less potent. They become less. The energy gets released. Think about it as the bottle. And so every time you suppress it, you're jamming the emotion back into the bottle. And soon it just blows up with anger, with fights, with this crazy thing that happened, or dissociation beyond the ninth degree, or a re-traumatization, or whatever that might be. And so the more that you can just open the bottle and let them come out and be with them and breathe into the sensations and breathe into them, the more that they go. I remember when I first started applying these techniques of breathing, of anchoring into the now, and of noticing the sensations and letting them go. It was hard. It was scary, right? I was scared to face off with them. I was scared to see the memory. I was scared to look into it. I was scared to be with it. I was scared to allow it into my space. I was scared to breathe and notice the sensations in my stomach. I was scared to notice the sensations in my bottom half of my body. And the more that I breathe into them, the more that I let go of them, the more that I'm like, it's okay, you're here now in this moment, the more that I was able to let them go. So those are the 3 main techniques that I really, really recommend beginning to practice. Number 1 is breathing. Number 2 is anchoring in the now. Number 3 is noticing the sensations. And a practice to all help anchor all of these together is by daily practice of meditation, which I will cover in one of these videos. And so if you've done all of this and none of them have worked, awesome. Do something that brings you here. Go for a walk. Do something you love. Do color, whatever it is. Just get into a space where you can do something for you right now. So whenever I used to do this, I used to go for a walk. I used to get out of my head, get out of my space. I used to take myself outside and put myself in nature where I can connect and bring myself back to the moment. And if nothing works and you find that the memories, the things are still intense, hire a coach, talk to a therapist, call a friend. Seriously, reach out, get help, share what's going on, share what you're going through. The more that you're going through and the more that you're sharing, the more that you're opening that bottle and letting things out, because you're not alone. And sometimes it can be crazy intense. And the more that you just let it out, the more that you just open that bottle, tear that bitch off and let it boom, pop, the more that you'll see your recovery and your process just extrapolate and incredibly speed up. And so the number 1 technique, the biggest one that I can share and the biggest tip, is to be willing to face off with the pain. Pain is our greatest teacher. When you can face off with the pain, you begin to get your life back. The more that you resist it, the more that it persists in your life. And I know this because I used to fucking do this all the time. I shoved it down for years. I used to resist. And the same things would come up. The same problems would come up. The same things. Everything would just always there. And I'm like, no, not now. I don't want to deal with you yet. No. It just came back up and up and up. And the moment I just allowed and surrendered, the more that I allowed myself to be in the moment, the more that they began to heal, the less that they came, the less intense that they became. And so that is some ways in which you can deal and cope with the memories, the flashbacks of sexual abuse. And I know that this video will help you because it's dramatically changed the way that I show up in my life and how I deal with my flashbacks and my memories. And I wanted to share those with you because you're not alone. I experienced it with you. And I wish that someone did this with me when I was younger because it would have helped me dramatically. So thank you so much for watching up to this point. If you're here, I want to know, like, what else do you want to know more about these techniques? Do you want me to share more? Let me know just by dropping it in the comments down below. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel, support this message, support this cause, and never miss a video that adds value into your life and help you dramatically speed up the time in which you heal from your sexual abuse. With so much love, light, gratitude, Ethan!